It is true that a child belongs to its father, but when the father beats his child, it seeks sympathy in the mother's heart. A man belongs to his father's land when things are good and life is sweet. But when there is sorrow and bitterness, he finds refuge in his mother's land. These are quotes from Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. Hello, it is World Books Book Day today, and myself and our amiable, my wonderful guest slash co-host Felucia will be talking about some of the books we read while we were in secondary school. And I am sure that some of the books we will call, some Gen Zs will not know it. This is an intentional jab at some of the Gen Zs that I have in my studio. You can take it to heart or you cannot. But it's international world, it's World Books Day, and we won't talk about books. Chino Achebe's Things Fall Apart. Some people did a lot with that book. Some acted drama
Yeah, I think a film is being worked on.
yeah, for it.
And
And
there's
it was
a
even
lot of
translated.
controversy. Yeah, there's a lot of
Controversies as
around
at
it.
last year.
Yeah, Idris
Idris
Elba
Elba.
acting as the main
The
Okonkwo,
Okonkwo.
the main character and all.
I was sentimental too. Why are you acting? Why are you producing a movie from a book written by an African, not just an African, a Nigerian man, and you want to pick the lead actor Okonkwo,
A Nobel Prize winner.
and you are going to pick someone? It's just like Enioluwa's interview I saw yesterday on a podcast where he was telling them that why will you bring foreigners, people from the US, from the UK,
to come
to Nigeria, to come and be hosting events in Nigeria, and when we have people here in Nigeria, what happens to our pet Edeche? Even though we know that the man is old, what happens to Nai? What happens to Nai sacrifice? KOK, you left him, you left Chiwetalo Agu, you not say. Anyways,
you left Kenneth Okonkwo himself.
Do you get
the role?
Well, let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
But
I am of the opinion that Nigerians or Africans should tell their own story themselves. We should do that.
I agree. No, you see, if we had told that story ourselves, right, Hollywood will have no business trying to make an adaptation of it. You get? It's because we ignore someone. And these books are very interesting story. There was this book by Women of Owo, it's a play, Women of Owo. I think it's by Wole Soyinka. I saw that book in my SS3. I was preparing for Wayek when I stumbled on the book. It was talking about the war. The war as at the old Oyo Empire, when we had the active, like the super active royal system with the Alafin, the Are Ona Kakanfo, the Bashorun, the Baloguns, and they were doing all their traditional responsibilities, the war and everything.
An organized system.
Yes. So the Women of Owo told a story of how women and children suffer at that time when this intercommunal war and inter-tribal clashes were happening. And we know that these things happened, or they happen, but the thing is, we as Nigerians have not told the story. Like, we have not adapted it into a movie where we can continuously tell our people that, for instance, if we had a well-detailed movie or book that told the story of the Nigerian Civil War.
Yeah, I was at a summit recently, and this is part of the conversation that formed the recommendations that came out, telling our own stories by ourselves, teaching it in schools.
Do you get?
I was at the Brazil embassy, I think 2 years ago, and there was a short clip that was played. They are now doing animations on Shango, understand? All of that just to preserve history and tell our own stories.
Preserving history is one part of it. Telling our own story, for me, is the most important part of it. This is it. I feel like when we tell these stories ourselves, there is a mind shift.
Yeah.
There's a change in perception. See, the level of tension that we feel in
Mm.
this country currently, be it the south, the southeast, southwest, the north, the level of tension we feel,
Mm.
if we tell stories in depthly, like talk about the horrors and the pains of war, talk
Healing
about
might
the
come.
all the things that happens during that war period, talk about what led to the war, and talk about how the war was resolved. Most of us that were agitating left, right, and center, some of us
Are
will
you
go home and
agitating?
think. I said most of us. I'm still a Nigerian for now, so let's talk as Nigerians. We will go home and we will think it through. We will think it through when we make certain decisions and when we decide to. Because why are we protesting and you are leaving protest that they say you come and protest and you are going to burn properties? You get?
Yeah.
Why are we protesting and you are coming for protest, you are carrying dagger? Who you won't stab? You get? But because we don't honestly tell some of these stories, and whether I want to agree with this quote, I mean this statement or not, Nigerians, Africans, we don't read. Somebody had, when I was growing up in
Some
school,
read,
someone
please
said
don't say.
if you want to hide,
Right, put it in writing. If you want to hide information from an African man, you should put it in writing.
and
I don't
see,
totally entirely agree.
no,
There are a lot
we
of
we
Nigerians
have
that
a
are
right to
bookworms.
disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, let's be honest, most of us don't read. Majority of us don't read. What appeals to us now is imagery. And that is why social media is taking over everything.
Yeah, but you can also use it in a way that can still tell the story. Like recently, there was this video that went viral on the internet of a woman that played Igbo cartoon, Igbo animation for her kids, and they were not excited. I mean, I don't blame the children because the way the characters were designed, kudos to the creators. I mean, I'm excited that now we're having even Disney. Disney had
So
um
I don't watch Disney though. But
they had a recent
you see that
production.
Igbo cartoon? I don't know what that woman played. But there is one that is trending that my niece will dance to every day, every time. See, there's a way they do like, hey, the she
Mm,
like she teaches them part of the body,
body.
but it's musical.
Mhm.
Where you see the animation are like little kids that
Yeah.
tie Igbo rapper and stuff.
Yeah,
That
yes.
is super interesting. I don't know what that woman played, but I agree with you.
So we can get instead of I think I read in some of some some British books. I mean, I'm not against them, but can we have our own with our own like cultural attires with beads that we can relate to? Can we have them
Our
done for us
see
to read?
to
I
read
read the Grinch.
exactly.
I'm not. I can't relate to snow. I'm sorry. I'm in Nigeria. Can we have what I can relate to? Can I see a girl tying ashoke, eating
So
amala,
then
not
you would
some
love
omelets and
you would love all Wole Soyinka's
yes.
books, Chino Achebe. My all-time favorite book that I read in secondary school is Purple
Purple hibiscus. Oh,
Hibiscus.
I knew it was going to be purple
Purple
hibiscus.
Hibiscus is my all-time favorite. Take it to the bank, girl. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie did so well with that book.
Yeah.
She told
Oh, did
so
you read Half of a Yellow Sun?
no, I didn't get
I
to
did
read that
read
book.
and I also watched the movie. So
I didn't get to see either of them, and it still hurts that I could not get
Mm.
my hands on it. But Purple Hibiscus, I read Purple Hibiscus over and over and over. The thing is, I am not a Catholic, but two things that book did for me was it told me some level, some like it gave me some level of understanding of the Catholic practice,
Yeah.
right? And then it told me of the story, the horrors, the bad side, the negative side of the dictatorship. So now when somebody tells me, all we need is a benevolent military ruler,
Nah,
I be like, guy, I take God
calm
beg
down.
you.
Don't
Please,
go
let's
there.
enjoy our freedom.
Mm.
Let's enjoy our freedom.
My
So
favorite all time book in secondary school, tough one, but I think would be a play, The Plight of Widowhood.
ah
I'm making sure that
see
it's the correct one
I'm
because the school I went to, our literature
so
teacher made
I read
us
that book
act.
too. I read that book, but mine, I read the book as a collection of books. The main book itself was tagged Echoes of Hardship.
Echoes of Hardship. That's the main book. Yes.
The main book.
So
Echoes
it
of
had the
Hardship.
play.
Yes. So it has different
Oh,
books in
God
it.
bless Aunt Sandra. It made me relate to
That book was
it's a
See,
roller
it's-
coaster of
see.
emotion. If you are very emotional, that's a book
that
for
book.
you. We
Eh,
cry and
when they
cry
say
and
it
cry.
hits home,
Hmm.
the book sat down. It sat down with me, and we had a conversation.
Yeah, so that would be Echoes of Hardship.
Yeah. It came to me so raw. Like, see, I read the book, yeah, and my all-time favorite scene of that book was the point where the woman's eldest child, who happens to be a girl, came back from the US and found out that her father had been buried without her present. And then they have subjected her mother to so many horrific situations. The babe went in, collected her double barrel, and gave her uncle a chase. She chased him to the palace, and the king was like, calm down. She went for her uncle, she went for the Umuadas. She gave
Man of Umuadas. What do we have here? Abomination. That was where I first heard my eyes have seen my ears. That was the first
when
time
they were forcing her to cry. Like,
Yeah.
how much more do you want this woman to cry? Jeez. I read that book and I was telling myself that, Ada, this was what you should have done. I'm not joking. So when I said the book sat down with me and we had a conversation, but in all honesty, our Nigerian authors, their books. Look at Chike and the River. Eze Goes to School. Ralia the Sugar Girl. So it's funny how that book is Sugar Girl,
but we changed
it. Ralia the Sugar Girl.
Yeah, I read a couple of Lantern series. But the one that I can still remember closely is God Answered Okay's Prayer. It's a story that has a theme that is centered around poverty and all of that. Well, because I went to a Christian missionary school.
Centered around poverty is also okay. No, this is not exact poverty. The Incorruptible Judge.
The Incorruptible Judge. I read
a guy that just left school, trying to find his feet and all of that. Then
welcome to Nigeria. They didn't tell him.
Then there is one book every Nigerian will always associate with Ali and Simbi.
Ali and Simbi.
Every Nigerian, if you're in Nigeria, okay, Gen Zs might not. Most of the Gen Zs might not in the sense that if they were not in primary school at the time when their elder ones were leaving
that could
school,
pass down the textbooks to them.
They would not have known. But Ali and Simbi, our all back and two shuku.
Or the threading style.
Or the thread, yeah. And that's why you see people tell you things like, why you they plait Simbi hairstyle? So if they call you Simbi, it's because you're always carrying cornrows all back, or you have two chuku or thread. And then there's this crazy collection we had in
Nanny Boy series.
I
wasn't a huge fan.
That
guy milked. Well,
but the books were cheap.
The books were quite affordable.
They were affordable, 100 naira, 150.
And they went viral. Every secondary school it
was a competition.
Have you read this?
And the funny thing is that all of these books have part 1 and 2.
Like, who writes books in parts?
Where I gave up on that book was Take Me Home. How can you write a book and it has part 1 to 11? What am I reading?
Yeah, so he made the series very short.
Short.
And the suspense filled.
Yes.
So you had to buy the next series to get the full gist of the story.
The book is not more than 25 pages.
Yeah, usually.
Not more than 25 pages. And they have very, very funny titles. Mommy, why? Daddy, please. Take Me Home. Daughters of Zion. Colorful Butterfly.
Do you know the interesting thing? These books were not part of school curriculums.
But every student had it.
Somebody just introduced the book. And people were always borrowing for people that didn't buy.
Yeah.
It was not part of the school curriculum, but those books were.
There was no Nigerian students between that was in secondary school from 2008 to 2011 that didn't read that book. Yes, 2011, 2012 that didn't read Nanny Boy series. Nanny Boy series. Even if you went to Nigeria Turkish International, you will still read it. Somehow, that book will find its way to your classroom.
So who would you say is since we're celebrating World Book Day, who would you say is your favorite Nigerian author?
It has to be
Chimamanda. We should all be feminists.
It has to be her. So I fell in love with the book The Purple Hibiscus. I fell in love with the story. I got angry at some point. So I fell in love with it because the book had a way of mm, um messing with my emotions. It makes me happy at some point. I'd be like, yeah, way to go. At another point, it makes me so pissed. At another point, I'd be like, come on, what are you doing? So I love the Purple Hibiscus. And I've taken my time to follow her activities and all of that. She gave me a better understanding of what feminism is.
Okay, so I read we should all be feminists in my first year in school. Interestingly, my friend Mukhtar, who was a guy, was the one that gave me the book to read. I didn't quite enjoy the benefits of reading that book until my final year in school, where we had to do courses on feminism and all of that, the different types of feminism, and then that book kind of, it was a course that a lot of people dread at that time. So that book kind of made it easy for me. So I didn't have, so the course was not complex for me.
So
And I wish a lot of people read the
that
book,
book.
because when you talk about feminism, a lot of people who have not really read on that will just think it's hate
against
for
women,
for the
yes.
other gender. No, that is not what feminism is. If you read deep
So,
into it,
I didn't get to read We Should All Be
Be
Feminists, but after Purple Hibiscus, I wanted to know who Chimamanda
that
Adichie
Adichie was,
is.
yeah.
So I took my time to look at her person, from even at the point when she became a chief. I had to like ask that, do women become chiefs in Igbo land?
She
Because
broke protocol.
I wanted to know. So I found out that that in Anambra women could be chiefs
Yeah.
and all of that. But she gave me a better understanding of what feminism is. And I found that out some 8 years ago, when on Facebook some women started saying, don't breastfeed your sons, don't give your sons milk, they will be more intelligent than your daughters. And she came out and she said, if you are doing that, you are wicked.
Yes.
That is not feminism again, that one now is witchcraft, because feminism is saying that women have the capacity, they are able to do this and do that. So why are you not giving them that opportunity to show their abilities? But instead of giving them the opportunity, you talk down on them, you belittle their efforts and all of that. Remember the job that I did last year?
Yeah. And the client said, what
I don't know why I'm laughing. But see, imagine stepping into an office and the first thing a client tells you is, don't get me wrong, but I don't like working with women.
Men.
And then when he was asked why, he said, I feel like they are not productive. They just, you give them
Can they
assignment
deliver
and they
the
go home
task?
and sleep. And they don't deliver. But guess what?
I think we closed from that meeting first of all at 11 p.m.
The first day we closed at 9.
9. The
9
second
p.m.
day
Then the next day, we closed at 11
11
because we
p.m.
were waiting for the men
to finish
to
their
finish
own
their
side
own-
of the work. Then and we delivered excellently.
we
well on our
delivered less
tasks.
than 24
4
hours. In less than 24 hours, we have delivered. Then the men who are highly productive, we're not waiting for them till 11. So they were lucky that we had someone to take us home.
Yeah.
If not, if I hear so they don't pay for my boat. So it's
International Women's.
International Women's Day, but it's on Saturday. And I think for one that as we celebrate International Women's Day every year, we as women, we should look beyond the whole celebration thing and try to, align with the theme.
Yeah, the theme for the year is accelerate action.
So there was I think in 2018 it was discovering yourself, something like that, breaking the bias and all of that. And now this is accelerating action. So it is not enough to say I can do this or I can do that. You need to break through and break forth. You get, like, you need to show that you can do it.
Yeah.
So when you show that you can do it, and then you're not being given the opportunity to do it, then don't worry for online or social media feminists. We dig it, but we will fall out. Do you get? But you have to show that you have what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
It is not enough to just say I can do it. You have to show that you have what it takes to get the job done. So when you're accelerating your actions, don't be accelerating by shouting and quarreling and being very dramatic. accelerate your actions by showing your capabilities, showing your strength. They should know that I am equal to this tax. I can chest it. And somehow I am sentimental when it comes to the likes of Senator Natasha. I am sentimental in the sense that all this drama going on, I have my reserve, you get. I have my reserve. Like I feel like you're making those bold allegations, you should be able to come out with very strong evidence. You understand? But
The space we're in right now, I feel like I'm very suspective of everybody. So at the slightest opportunity that you want to misbehave, I'll probably make sure I have.
see, I suspect everybody, not just it's not just you. I think we all suspect everybody. This is because when things go south,
Mm.
nobody wants to listen to you. Remember when we had the show on revenge porn,
Yeah.
and I asked who listens to the victims?
Mm-hmm.
This is it playing out now in our very before. Somebody is coming out to make an
And
allegation
you're saying it's dead.
against the number 3 person in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And a fellow woman comes out to tell us that she has grown past that stage where
Is there really an age where you get to the sexual or whatever form of harassment?
that she has grown past the stage where she can be sexually harassed. And I am asking,
Is there an age limit?
do you get?
to
Do
that,
we have a time
to
frame?
that social injustice?
Is it marriage that somebody is saying?
Even marriage, is there time frame for marriage?
No,
People
now
get married at
feel me.
60.
You know that as a lady by 25, your mother is saying,
How far?
you understand? So is it marriage? Is it education that you are you are expected to have started schooling by age 6,
Even
age
at that,
9,
people are defying odds.
and then look at Enyoluwa for instance. Enyoluwa is barely within his 20s and is already studying to get his PhD.
25 or so.
You get, and so there is no time frame set for even the education, and you're telling me as a woman you want me, another woman, to believe that there is a time frame or there is a social status I will attain.
If we were
That-
in a sane society, I'm not saying if we're in a sane society, I feel like probably persons involved would have stepped down from their seats.
part of why
An
I said
independent committee.
we take up the investigation.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association will be in that committee.
Or even the benchers, but somebody from outside, not the National Assembly,
Not
not
the
the
Green
reps,
Chamber.
not the Green Chamber, not the Red Chamber, not reps, not Senate, nobody from the National Assembly, nobody from the presidency. We don't want all of you. Pick someone else from somewhere. We agree that okay, let's say the drama around the judiciary has been there and all of that, but let's have an independent body.
Yeah,
Like where we used to have the Opta panel.
yeah.
Let's have an independent body, launch an inquiry into all of this. The Senate president's wife is coming to sue. I am not against
In
it. Though.
billions.
I am not
see.
against it. But for me, I feel like from the very minute that allegation was made, he should have been made to step down and hand over to his deputy, who will be interim for the time being, as long as the investigation lasts. And then it is after that investigation, if it now happens that Senator Natasha was not telling the truth, men, sue her. See, sue her for all her words. I don't care. But there should be an investigation because this is some huge allegation against the Senate president. And we now have people coming to make crazy comments.
I
One
have
senator-
issues with the whole situation even before it got to this point when he was shutting her up. And I remember that
Was it just her? Even Senator Ireti, he shot Senator Ireti up. Senator Ireti Kingibe.
Yeah, but Kingibe seems to not be on the
If we
woman
if
supporting
if
woman
if we
side.
if we look at who Kingibe is soft. There was I'm being honest. The other time he shot her down during plenaries and she ended up crying. She's not as aggressive. No, not aggressive. She's not as outspoken as Senator Natasha. Senator Natasha is the person that will say point of order.
But the way Senator Natasha was behaving from the onset, I wanted to know. I kept looking into the situation. I wanted to know if there was a deep rooted issue.
From the way this drama is going, it shows that there's an issue.
Because you know how I don't want to say how women are. I don't want to stereotype or say, but generally, if someone comes out to take certain step, you know that probably something
Something
has
has happened
happened
behind
behind the
closed doors.
scenes,
Yes,
behind
now.
closed doors, that will trigger. Because how will she come out and just outrightly keep talking when the speaker is trying to, get her to keep quiet and all of that? So I knew that
And
smoke did that
aside from the
matter.
National Assembly, yeah,
Mm.
we get to experience some of this in our professional space.
Yeah.
We see women struggle in some skills or
Mhm.
some profession they have chosen, and even in politics too. And then it begs the question: is our society anti-women, or we just have men who just don't like our client from last year, who just don't like to work with women? Because why do we have in the entire Senate only 4 women? 4.
Well, we haven't gotten to that space where we vote in more women. But I want to say something. I'm excited that this space that we are in, that we work in, has a no
Yeah,
workplace. It's not even it doesn't even have gender. Whether
gender. Yeah,
man
there's no gender
there's
written on it.
is
It is
both ways.
no is no.
No. So I'm glad that we have a no works a strict no work harassment space, and it's really like good to see that there's even a policy around all of that
I think we should make that very loud. We
across
should cut
different
across different
organizations,
organizations, different
government
sectors.
sectors, the private
Yes.
sector, and all of
You
that.
should cut across different sectors,
Mm-hmm.
because if I say women are being harassed, somebody will say, what
What
of
of
the
men?
men?
Men
But
are being harassed,
but it's not a
but
problem.
women are more
But the thing is the
vulnerable.
ratio we're looking at. But what can we say? So far, so good. It's been an interesting conversation here on the Fifth Estate Live on Akweya TV. If you're just joining, don't forget to like and share this video. And in the comment section, tell us those interesting books you read in primary, junior secondary school, or even in your university. Tell us those books you read that made so much sense to you and you would love to read them over and over and over and over again. Of course, I am your host, Hope Williams, and we are celebrating the World Book Day and also International Women's Day in advance.
Yeah.
Because again, International Women's Day is on Saturday, on the 8th.
We have International Women Judges
Judges
Day.
Day, yeah, that's on the 10th.
Mhm.
So you see, when I say March is Women's Month, nobody follow me argue. Because why do we have Women's Day, Women Judges Day? We have Mothers Day. In fact, the Mothering Sunday plenty.
Yeah.
Catholic will do their own, Anglican will do their own. But if I talk now, some people feel, see, we are not against people, but don't worry, dedicate this month to us. It's our own. It's our own. In case you want to argue, there's a reason why we have that poem. Who sat and watched my infant head
was
sleeping on my cradle bed? See, there's a reason. There's a reason. Don't worry. If you want to know the reason, just drop a comment in the comment section and ask me the reason, and I'll tell you. See, we'll come your way again next time. It's the Fifth Estate Live show on Akweya TV, where we discuss issues around history, art, and culture, analyzing how it affects our development as individuals and as a society. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. Hey, subscribe to this channel and also click on the notification bell so you can join very interesting and wonderful conversation, and also read up stories on our website. Again, like and share this video. Do have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.